Very good morning. Welcome back. So children, today we are here to discuss about respiration. Our today's topic is respiration in plant. So take here respiration. Let me tell you what is the definition of respiration. Respirate. It's a Latin word, respiration. The term respiration is derived from Latin word respire. It means to breathe in. When we inhale, no, we intake the air, we breathe in. That is called respiration. But in the other term, the term respiration can be defined as the process of oxidation of food. The amount of oxygen which is taken in during respiration, with the help of that oxygen, the food is oxidized further. Why it has to be oxidized? To release energy. So respiration can be defined as the process of oxidation of food and release of energy. So respiration in plant or any living organism is a complex biochemical process, and this involves a number of series of chain reactions which are accelerated by the enzymes. What are enzymes? It's a biological protein. They act as a catalyst. Enzymes are termed as the enzymes are a catalyst. So what is catalyst? It's a biological protein. So the entire chain of reactions which occurs during respiration, that all the activities are accelerated by the enzymes. So respiration in plant, what happens? The oxidation of glucose. Mainly what happens? The food which is the energy which is being utilized, the energy which is stored, we say that oxidation of food and release of energy. The release of energy, the amount of energy which is released during this process, respiration, we say that it's an oxidation of food and release of energy. That energy which is released during respiration process, that is further stored in the form of a strong chemical bond that we call as ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So this adenosine triphosphate, 3 phosphates. How many? 3 phosphates will be attached, linked to the adenine. And the last phosphate is capable of breaking, getting separated from it. Suppose the energy is produced and that energy is utilized by our body. Whenever I perform, I do any act, whenever the amount of energy is utilized by my body, the amount of ATP stored in the body will reduce. Whenever it is utilized, ATP becomes ADP, diphosphate. That means the last phosphate gets reduced. Then it is called now diphosphate, ADP. Whenever this ATP is used, it is get reduced to the last phosphate, and the ATP becomes ADP. Here, a comparison of respiration and combustion. Now respiration takes place in the cytoplasm of a cell, in the living cell. Combustion does not take place in the living matter. It occurs in a non-living form. Whereas respiration takes place in a cytoplasm of any living cell. Here, light is not produced during respiration. Of course, the energy is produced during this process. But here, energy is produced in the form of both heat as well as light. During combustion, light energy is produced as well as heat energy is produced, whereas in respiration, light energy is not produced. This activity is accelerated. Respiration, enzyme involvement will be there. There is no involvement of enzyme during combustion. When we compare these both processes, respiration and combustion, when we are doing the comparison between these two processes, respiration and combustion, we say this as a biochemical change. This involves enzymes, this does not involve enzymes. Here production of light energy takes place, here there is no production of light energy. So when we compare both the processes, this is the difference. This takes place in non-living form, this takes place in the cytoplasm of a living cell. So this is about the comparison. Now on the basis of utility of oxygen, presence and absence of oxygen. The respiration is further classified into main these two types. Types of respiration. These are the types of respiration. The one is aerobic and the other is anaerobic. See here, in general, the equation for respiration is shown on the top. This is the word equation given on the top, such as food, oxygen. Food, this food in the form of glucose, it is oxidizing in the presence of oxygen. The food is oxidizing in the presence of oxygen, and what are the end products are produced? Carbon dioxide and water plus energy. So this word equation also shows the same thing. Here down below the chemical equation is given. Here glucose is the plus oxygen. The molecule of glucose is getting split, oxidizing, breaking and producing what? Carbon dioxide, water. Therefore we say that always aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen. What exactly happens here? In presence of oxygen, food molecule is oxidized and end products will be carbon dioxide and water plus more energy. Here in anaerobic respiration, what happens? Oxidation of food without the oxygen. Here oxygen is present in aerobic respiration. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. What is aerobic? The respiration in which oxidation of food takes place in presence of oxygen with the help of oxygen. Such type of respiration we call as aerobic respiration. And what are the end products of aerobic respiration? Carbon dioxide, water plus energy. And what is anaerobic respiration? Anaerobic respiration is performed by organisms like yeast. You know, yeast is a unicellular fungus. Organisms like yeast, they oxidize the food. They respire in the absence of oxygen and they break down the food. The glucose is oxidized in the organism like yeast in absence of oxygen. So directly this is converted into methyl alcohol. What is this? C2H5OH, methyl alcohol and carbon dioxide plus less energy. Energy is very less here. Here the amount of energy is produced as a result of aerobic respiration is more. The amount of energy is produced as a result of anaerobic respiration is less. So here the end products of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide, water and energy. End products of anaerobic respiration are methyl alcohol and lactic acid. He said C2H4OH, COOH. This is a lactic acid. Lactic acid and energy is produced, or we can call ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide plus energy is produced. These are the end products. So organisms like yeast, unicellular fungus, this anaerobic respiration we can otherwise call as fermentation also. You know, most of the alcoholic beverages, fermenting industry, they perform the fermentation process. Anaerobic respiration we can otherwise call as fermentation also. What is fermentation? Organisms like yeast cell and all, as they respire without oxygen. When they respire without oxygen, the food is oxidized in their body and this ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide is produced. The amount of CO2 is separated and this is further collected, ethyl alcohol, in alcoholic beverages. On small scale industry as well as nowadays it has become a large scale business also. Production of alcohol is done based on this principle, anaerobic respiration. Therefore we can call it as fermentation process. The fermentation process is carried out based on this principle only. Like this, here lactic acid is also produced. When the food is oxidizing in absence of oxygen, lactic acid and energy is produced. Though what we have to remember here, aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration occurs in absence of oxygen. Here the end product food glucose is oxidized with the help of oxygen and produces carbon dioxide and water plus more energy. Where glucose or food is oxidized without oxygen and produces ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide and less energy, or lactic acid and less energy. So this is the difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So further part of this chapter will be continued in our next class. So this is enough for today. So we'll stop here. Thank you one and all.